2-beat had helped cause the Manzai boom in the 80s, but now that Takeshi was solo, he was soaring to new heights. 1986 was a very eventful year for Takeshi. He imagined the iconic Takeshi's Castle. The physical challenges and absurdity made it a smash hit not just in Japan, but around the world. Its wide appeal caught the eyes of many who had never been interested in Japanese entertainment. And in doing so, Takeshi's Castle would help contribute to how the world saw Japan. Well, for game shows at least. Another big event was the release of his video game, Takeshi's Challenge. Infamously known as one of the worst games of all time. I won't go into detail explaining Takeshi's sadistic level of cryptic game design. Instead, I'd like to say Takeshi's Challenge did one thing amazingly well, and that is, he designed a game people wanted to talk about. I can only imagine what playing this game must have been like before the internet. It's said the game is the result of developers interviewing a drunk Takeshi for ideas. And considering the in-game events, it sounds plausible. Though in reality, they had a number of interviews. One developer in particular scheduled numerous meetings with Takeshi and filled a notebook with his ideas. Most of them, though, were impossible due to hardware limitations or inappropriateness. Anyway, a day before the game's launch, Takeshi was involved in a scandal with Friday, a celebrity tabloid. Friday had already caused problems for Takeshi's family in the past. They tracked down what elementary school his daughter was about to enter and sent a photographer to hound her and his wife during the entrance ceremony. The resulting hubbub caused the school to request the Kitanos to leave. Not just the ceremony, from actually enrolling in the school. This time, Friday was tracking a 21-year-old who they believed to be having an intimate relationship with Takeshi. Takeshi's infidelity was a common topic for gossip, and he was kind of a playboy in the 80s. In fact, Takeshi himself talked about visiting hostess clubs on live radio. Anyway, a Friday reporter tracked down the 21-year-old to her university. He would wait for her at the university's entrance. When she refused to talk, the reporter became more and more aggressive. He tried blocking her path, grabbing her, shoving a voice recorder in her face. And all this went on for 2 weeks. When Takeshi heard of what had happened, he was outraged. He called their office protesting their actions. Furious, Takeshi said, "How about I just go over there right now?" And at 3 a.m., December 9th, Takeshi gathered 11 members of his Gundan and took 3 taxis to the editorial department. His original plan was to mess up the place, spraying the office with fire extinguishers, which would have been the Western comedy equivalent to throwing cream pies everywhere. Takeshi had ordered his Gundan not to use violence. However, provocation from Friday's staff, particularly a remark from the editorial manager, caused Takeshi's raid to turn violent. Takeshi and crew dropped their fire extinguishers and started brawling. The editorial manager received a fractured rib before police arrived to arrest Takeshi and crew. They were charged with breaking and entering, destruction of property, and assault. They were sentenced to 6 months jail time and 2 years parole. Takeshi and crew took a 7-month hiatus from TV. Producers talked about banning Takeshi from ever returning from TV, but his programs were just too popular to cancel. In addition to that, publicly there was a lot of sympathy for Takeshi, and he made a triumphant return to TV in fall of 1987. Takeshi's 7-month hiatus actually proved beneficial for him. He spent his time reading and studying, improving his general knowledge and knowledge of the entertainment industry. Most notably, he resigned from Ota Pro and started his own talent agency, Office Kitano. In his hiatus, he began to see a bigger vision of himself, and soon a chance happening would help him realize his true passion. Interesting side note, there isn't a single photograph of Takeshi's rave. As luck would have it, all of Friday's cameramen were out at the time. And there wasn't a camera in the entire building.